What's good, people? It is Tony the Savant back again. And before we get started, if you all don't mind, please like this video, share this video, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm dropping content and going live on the channel. Also, if you haven't already joined the fam, please subscribe to the channel as I do drop content and go live on the channel daily. Stay very busy on the platform. And last but not least, my favorite part, please leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section as I'm always interested and intrigued to know what y'all think about these topics that we discuss. And if we can get right to the work, man, I want to talk about this phenom, Miss Clark, Caitlin Clark of the Indiana Fever. Just put on the absolute show um, against the Washington Mystics, this previous game that they had. At the recording of this video, I'm recording the morning after, so um, yesterday, Caitlin Clark absolutely balled out, and she was able to put up 29 points on 7 of 14 shooting. Went 5 of 9 from the 3-pointer, 5 rebounds, 13 assists. I think she also had about 5 steals, I believe, 3 or 5 steals. But nonetheless, the first, and then this is one of those weird stats that they always kind of make up. I never really care for these kind of stats, but I think she's like the second rookie in WNBA history to put up such a stat line. I can't keep up with those weird kind of stats like that, but nonetheless, uh, definitely balled down and looked like Iowa Hawkeyes to me. Caitlin Clark, like she put on the Iowa jersey and really got back to her ways in scoring. She looked very comfortable, and I've been telling people that once she gets comfortable, then we'll see, the Caitlin Clark everybody knows and got accustomed to back at Iowa. It's going to be a transition, for her to get into the professional realm. But now that she's getting her feet in the game, I think she's about 20 to 25 games in, and they're approaching their All-Star break in the WNBA as well. Respectfully, I think the kid is growing up right before our eyes. But again, a virtuoso performance, but it was ultimately in a loss for the Indiana Fever as they lost by 5 points, 89 to 84, again to the league worst team, or at least by record, Washington Mystics. Um, I just want to say, man, as far as this game goes, the Indiana Fever, they are very inconsistent on every level. I don't know if that's due to coaching or just scheme I don't think it's more so personnel because they have a very talented team. When you look at, of course, Caitlin, Aaliyah Boston, one of my favorite players, but she's very inconsistent as well. Kelsey Mitchell, an absolute bucket. Um, she had 15 points, but kind of shot bad from the field with 6 of 14 shooting. 0 of 8 from the 3-pointer for Kelsey Mitchell, very bad. 3 rebounds and 2 assists. Um, Again, just very inconsistent. And the thing about the Indiana Fever that gets me is that they win with this inconsistent play and they also lose with this inconsistent play because just the game before this one, they beat the league best team, New York Liberty. And I meant to cover that game. I was a little busy doing some family stuff, but nonetheless, it was just fascinating to me that you look very impressive versus the league's best team, and then they got down pretty bad. I think the most they were down in this game was 22. But they did, put up a rally the second half. Oh, excuse me, they was down 22 in the first half, I believe, or if that was just the total. The biggest, deficit that they faced. But nonetheless, they didn't play very well in the first half. The Indiana Fever didn't. Had to rally back in the second half. They put up an effort, but ultimately it was to no avail. Caitlin Clark had 29 for the day, but she had 22 in the second half to help with that rally. Kelsey Mitchell was doing her thing. That was another young lady. I don't want to make sure I skip over. Or am I thinking of the Washington Mystics team? On the Mystics side, man, I'm not very familiar with everybody in the WNBA. I've admitted this. I've said this since I've been covering them. I've been covering the WNBA longer than Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese's arrival. Although I'm big fans of these young ladies, essentially have watched them grow up as athletes since college. But covering the WNBA before trying to get acclimated to a lot of people. Skylar Diggins Smith was my favorite player before Angel Reese pulled up to my Chicago Sky. So I used to follow her, but nonetheless, the Washington Mystics. Y'all forgive me, I'm not 100% familiar with each one of these players, but Ariel Atkins was an absolute bucket, giving the Indiana Fever the flux all evening. Because it just seemed like every time the Fever was making a run, she was the one that hit the clutch bucket to keep the momentum for her team. But to be fair, Dawson's balled out as well. Van Loo, she was flopping a little bit. Caitlin Clark was not happy with her. It was a total team effort. It was got Aaliyah Edwards, the young phenom rookie for them. Another one of my favorite of the super rookies. She went 4-8 from the field, 12 points. Got another 10 off the bench. Well, no, excuse me. They got 10, 19, 23 points in addition to Aaliyah Edwards' 12. So just very impressive. I like that. The Washington Mystics. To me, every time I watch them play, they are always in the mix. They're a feisty team. I don't keep up to them game to game as much as I should, but they're just a feisty team, and they always put up a fight whether they win or lose. And they really showed out tonight. But again, to me, the Indiana Fever are just so inconsistent. And that's even with Caitlin Clark a little bit as well. As Caitlin Clark had a great 29 points again, five big threes, five steals, just all over the place, and looking like the Iowa Caitlin Clark. Excuse me. Uh, my thing about it is that my only thing about Caitlin Clark, man. If I could just make some notes from this game alone, I'm not saying this is an overall issue. I think Caitlin Clark gets a little bit caught up in just playing like that Lucas style basketball. And here's the thing: she's a phenomenal passer, as I'm on record as saying, and I had to correct myself. Not, I think she's going to be the best combo guard ever in WNBA history. She's already kind of legitimizing herself as a combo guard because she had 13 assists tonight as well. I don't know if I mentioned that, but at the same time, I don't. It's just a little too ball dominant. Basketball is a thing where you can if you let the system beat the opposing team, excuse me, then it's better for you. That's why I love. I'm gonna make a video about this. Team USA basketball. It's not just one person shooting up 20, 25 shots. Everybody kind of eating and being doing it by committee. I would love for the Indiana Fever to do that, but again, everybody's so inconsistent. Kelsey Mitchell again went 0 from 8 from the three. You can't have that. You can't have that. To the Indiana Fever's credit, to be so inconsistent. I mean, especially in this game, not anyone really shot well outside of Caitlin. They only lost by 5. So, uh, and they're just another. Like I said, they're a funny team. The fact that they're 9-14 is just crazy to me. I think they're not as good as their records say they are. I think Caitlin Clark is what the hype says she is, but I don't think the Indiana Fever are as good as their record says they are. If they was in the playoffs, if they make the playoffs, I see them getting blasted ASAP early in the first round. I'm not positively sure the format for the WNBA if they still do the 3-game series or a 5-game series, but nonetheless, yeah. I mean, the highlight of the night for the Indiana Fever was Caitlin Clark once again. She was essentially trying to do it by herself. She had a number of turnovers as she did make some WNBA history, some bad WNBA history. As far as those turnovers go, they've been her Achilles heel all season long. She now holds the rookie record for a WNBA season, the most turnovers, with 127. Crazy work, and she's on pace to break Alyssa Thomas's, another one of my favorite players of the Kinetic Suns, 137, which is the WNBA record all time. We aren't even halfway. Well, let me say this. She's on pace to break that record. Alyssa Thomas's 137 turnover record before the All Star break. And that's what I meant to mention. And that's kind of mind boggling because when people bring up the Rookie of the Year awards, the Rookie of the Year race, they never hold that against Caitlin Clark. A lot of people, I'm not saying everybody, but some people don't hold that against her, and I think that's a significant stat. Now, are all the turnovers her fault? No. But in the same breath, Tyrese Halliburton, her Indiana Pacers, the men's basketball counterpart, is a good example of somebody that has high ball usage, and is not very turnover costly. And of course, Halliburton is a little bit more seasoned in the NBA, but he's been like that his entire career. He's always been a guy that takes care of the ball. So it's no real excuse. I think that the thing about Caitlin Clark is that she's willing to take risk, make those kind of passes that 100% most rookies probably wouldn't try, but at least there's a percentage of veteran players that wouldn't try it either. So to her respect, I think it's just more so her taking risk. But at the same time, once you hold a record like that, that's bad. That's a bad record, and again, I think that counts against her a little bit. Not saying it takes the rookie award away from her, or it just gives Angel Reese some leverage. But if we're having a discussion as to who's the Rookie of the Year, and you don't mention that, I think that's where I say it's a bit crazy. It almost seems like there's an agenda at hand, because turnovers are a possession to the other team. The more possessions the other team has, the more opportunities they have to win. And when you have 14 losses on your record, respectfully, you can't afford to be giving away possessions. If there was 14-9, I might shoot her a little bit more bail. Be like, I get it, I guess. But 9-14, no, you can't afford to do that, because many of those games in my head, as a fan, I'm thinking could have been wins if you're being a little bit more cautious with the basketball. That's just me being an athlete, not trying to knock Caitlin at all, but Well, all in all, spectacular performance once again. If y'all don't know, I just made a video highlighting the Rookie of the Year race between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. I won't go too far into that right now, but I do want to say that I got I still got Caitlin Clark winning the award. I think it's her award to lose. I just think that Caitlin Clark. I think that the thing about Caitlin Clark is that individually she's having a better season, but impactful, as far as team success and impact, Angel Reese is having a better season. The Chicago Sky, our personnel ain't great from top to bottom, but a lot of times we fight for wins, and we gotta come back and dig deep and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of times Angel Reese is in the mix of that. It's not just the veterans carrying her, to a win, or it's not just the veterans partaking in the comeback. Angel Reese actually makes contributions in the comebacks, the wins, the blowouts. I don't know if we had any blowouts really for the Chicago Sky, but Angel Reese is a huge contributor to our success. So I think that Caitlin Clark isn't so much impactful on the team dynamic, because when they usually win, it's because they're getting contributions from a couple of people that I mentioned earlier, Leah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell. They're usually having pretty good games themselves. But Caitlin is doing her thing on an individual level, definitely doing her thing, showing that she belongs here. But when you look at what Angel Reese is doing, it's impacting a little bit more of the team success. She's doing her thing on her individual stats as well. I think Angel had a 27 point game the other day, which is a career high for her. So yeah, man, that Rookie of the Year race is definitely interesting. I think it's gonna come down to what you like and how the voters, see things. If they like the guard play and think the flashier style is better, then I think it's gonna be Caitlin's to lose. But if you like a little bit more defense and the rebounds and the little things, I guess I'm trying to say, then you probably resonate a little bit more with Angel. But it's gonna be an interesting Rookie of the Year race for sure. That's all I got for y'all on this one. Please like this video, share this video, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm dropping content and going live on the channel. Definitely please subscribe to the channel, join the fam, as I'm always dropping content, always going live on this platform, staying very busy. And last but not least, my favorite part, please leave y'all thoughts and opinions in the comment section, as I'm always interested and intrigued to know what y'all think about the topics we discuss. I thank y'all for the love and support. I am Tony the Savant. Peace.